Imagine a superstar who has always smiled in public, who has always maintained a flawless image, who appears perfect in every single moment. He is someone millions adore, a role model, an idol, and a very symbol of professionalism in the entertainment industry. But what if one night, in front of millions of watching eyes, all of that perfection shattered? What if, in an instant, he allowed the world to see the side of himself that was most vulnerable and most angry? That night, Wang Yibo started his live stream just like he always did. 8:30 p.m. Beijing time, a time he had always dedicated to his fans. A relaxed hour, free from TV interviews, free from the demands of the industry. Just him and the people who had been waiting for him. He sat in his apartment, a black hoodie covering part of his face, a faint smile as he greeted everyone. Comments poured in, hearts and words of longing filling the screen. Everything seemed normal on the surface. But for those watching closely, something was different. His gaze was not as calm as usual. His hands, which were normally busy holding a cup or fiddling with objects on the desk, kept reaching for his phone. He tapped the screen, opened notifications, closed them again. His smile came just a fraction too late. It was as if his mind was somewhere else entirely. Around 20 minutes into the live stream, a ringtone broke the atmosphere. He glanced at the phone for a second before declining the call. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3. His expression began to tighten with irritation. Viewers flooded the chat. Who's calling him? Why does Yibo look unsettled? Is he okay? And then, without warning, he answered. He put the phone on speaker, perhaps forgetting, or perhaps not caring, that millions would hear what came next. The voice on the other end was firm, even cold. Fans instantly recognized the tone. It was his manager. End the live stream immediately. We have an urgent meeting. Important. It didn't sound like a request. It was a command. For a brief second, Yibo tried to restrain himself. But only for a second. Seriously? You're calling me while I'm with my fans? I promised this live stream, and I'm not cutting it short for some so-called crisis that probably isn't even that important. His voice rose, the tremor in it impossible to miss. Millions of eyes were now witnessing something they almost never saw. A crack in the wall of composure he had spent years building. His manager replied with a thinly veiled threat. About contracts, obligations, career consequences. And that was when everything broke. You want to talk about obligations? How about your obligation to treat me like a human being, not a money-making machine? How about respecting the fact that I have a life outside of the projects you assign without my approval? Why is every project decided without me knowing, every schedule arranged without me having a say, and every personal wish denied just because it won't bring in the numbers you want? Each word left his lips like an arrow, sharp, deliberate, and long suppressed. He spoke about personal plans canceled at the last minute, about conflicting commitments forced upon him, about dreams he had kept to himself because he knew his agency would say no. Have you ever felt like a stranger in your own life? He asked, not only to his manager, but to the millions of viewers who had fallen silent. Every decision is made for you. Every relationship scrutinized. Every personal choice questioned. I entered this industry because I love the stage, but somewhere along the way, I stopped being myself and became a product auctioned off to the highest bidder. His voice cracked. His eyes turned red. And in that exact moment, another face appeared on the screen. Xiao Zhan. He arrived with a wide smile, his intention simple, to surprise his friend. But that smile disappeared instantly, replaced with confusion and concern as he took in the scene before him. There was a long silence. The two friends stared at each other through their screens, but it felt as though no one else existed in the world at that moment. Yibo, are you okay? Xiao Zhan's voice was low, almost a whisper, yet enough to halt Yibo mid-sentence. Yibo tried to deflect, muttering, I'm fine. Just work issues. But his swollen eyes, his unsteady breathing, betrayed every word. Xiao Zhan gave a faint smile, the kind that silently says, I understand, even if you won't tell me everything. Their conversation continued cautiously. Xiao Zhan shared light-hearted stories from his filming set, hoping to draw out a laugh that never quite came. The tension lingered in the air, palpable even through the screen. And throughout it all, Yibo's phone kept ringing. The same ringtone, the same pressure. That was the moment everyone realized this was not just a small conflict. This was a glimpse into a much larger story. A story about control, freedom, and the price one pays for standing at the very top of fame. And the question now is, will that night mark the beginning of Wang Yibo's downfall? Or will it be the start of the freedom he's been yearning for all along?